Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Manifesting Muslimah. My name is Zara Pedersen and I am your host. And today's question is, can I manifest anything I want? I don't know why I said it that way, but I felt like it was a little bit better just because I said it that way. So deal with it if you didn't like it. Okay, so that is today's question. Using the law of attraction, can I manifest anything I want? Is there any type of limitation to the law of attraction? Well, I am really sorry to be the one to maybe lower your expectations or to be the buzzkill, but no, you cannot just manifest anything you want. There are limitations to the law of attraction, but they might not be what you think they are. So let's go through them. So the first thing when it comes to law of attraction and what you can and cannot manifest, the rule is it has to be something that is in line with the universal laws, the natural order of things. You can't say, I would love if the sky was red all the time, so I'm going to try and manifest a red sky in the middle of the daytime. That's not going to happen unless there's like some really serious outer space situation that's going on. And if that's the case, then I'm scared. But no, you can't manifest something that isn't natural. You can't manifest that the grass will be blue, the sky will be red, and people's skin will turn pink. I have to have my fly swatter here next to me because I'm in Spain and I have chickens, so I have flies and it's an issue. Anyway, the point is that you can't just manifest something that is outside of what nature dictates. And by nature, I so mean Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because he's the one who's created it. So it has to be in line with the natural order of things. You can't just manifest something completely outlandish that is completely just not heard of. It has to make natural, universal sense. So that's the first thing. Just, when I said in one of my previous videos, be realistic, I meant it. Be realistic. You cannot manifest things that don't exist. It has to exist in some form or another in this world. If you really want to have, for instance, a red sky, you can manifest, for instance, a sunset, that you get to see a sunset that is spectacularly more red than usual, but you won't be able to have a red sky in the middle of the day again, unless there's some supernatural phenomenon that's taking place outside. And when I say supernatural, is it really supernatural? If it's aliens, do we believe in aliens? Let me know in the comments. Anyway. Okay, what's the next thing you can't manifest? You cannot manifest death. And I would like to hope that you're sitting there now taking a deep sigh of relief and not the opposite. And that you're thinking, oh, well, thank goodness for that, because if your thoughts and your beliefs and your thoughts become the reality and you're manifesting things into your life, I've been terrified of manifesting an earlier death for myself. Well, you can't do that because that's not up to you. That is something that is predestined before we were even born. So again, this is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made a set point in your life. He has already given, even though we don't know it, he's already given you X amount of years, days, month, weeks on this earth, and that's what you're getting. You're not getting more and you're not getting less. You're getting what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you to get. So you can't manifest death onto yourself or onto others, because this is not something that we as human beings in this world are allowed to decide on. So take a sigh of relief. You can't manifest death. You also cannot, and I'm sorry to say this, single ladies, single lads, whatever, you can't manifest a specific person into your life. And this is one of those questions that I see a lot of people talk about online when it comes to manifestation and trying to attract that person, the love of your life, marriage, a relationship, whatever it is. Here's the thing. You can attract a marriage, you can attract a relationship, you can attract a partner, you can attract a man, you can attract a woman. Okay, so depending on whether or not you're man or woman yourself, whoever's watching this. But you cannot manifest a specific person, because that would go against another thing that Allah has given us, which is free will. So we cannot manifest against another person's free will. We can't manifest a person to do something that they wouldn't otherwise do. Law of attraction is not magic. Okay, it's very important that we state this, because I think a lot of people would like to think that it's some type of magic, black magic. So it's not. It really isn't. It's the power of prayer and intention, and comprised it creates this energetic reaction within us that then reflects out into the world and then comes back to us. Okay, that was a very horrible short way of explaining it, but I think, no, was it horrible? I actually think it was all right. It was actually an all right way of explaining it. But either way, this is not magic. So we're not doing something that can alter a person's mind in your life. We're not doing something that would make a person behave differently to you. So if they don't like you, sorry, but if they don't like you, you can't manifest that they will suddenly fall head over heels in love with you, because it doesn't work that way. I know it sucks. I really, really do. I know it sucks. Because we all have our like little delulu crushes and stuff, and that's all very nice and well. But what you can do is manifest a healthy relationship to yourself. And by attracting a healthy relationship to yourself, what I mean is you can attract the kind of relationship that you want, okay? And that starts with yourself. So if you want a lot of love into your life, then you have to obviously healthy love, because there can be such a thing as unhealthy love. You have to work on your own understanding of love, and then the way that you love yourself, because that is what you'll get in return. The reciprocation, like attracts like. That is law of attraction. Okay, so you can definitely attract relationships and partners and even marriage, but it doesn't necessarily have to be with that one specific person. So it's very important to understand that. And of course, when I'm saying that, and we can't attract against someone's free will, that also means that we can't attract something horrible for another person to experience. Okay, we can't do that. We can manifest within our own personal space, and sometimes it can bleed over, but in material stuff, not in illnesses or heartbreak or anything else for another person. But we can attract more money or wealth. We can attract a new house or something like that when we're really good at using the law of attraction to other people. If we're not specific, quite often what tends to happen, especially for women who have a belief system that a man is the caretaker and the provider, what often will happen when they start trying to manifest more money into their life is that the money will come but to the man, because their underlying belief system keeps telling them that he's the one who, in their mindset and in their belief system, is the one who's supposed to have the money. So instead of attracting it to you, it's coming to the man. Okay, so that's, again, understand your belief system, dig really deep, because if you're not careful, and I'm putting that in quotations because it's not necessarily something you want to be careful with, but it's definitely something that you want to know is happening, so that if you're trying to intentionally pull something into you, look at those belief systems so that you're not inadvertently attracting those things, but to someone else in your life that you feel in your subconscious and in your deepest beliefs deserve it more than what you do. Okay, so that's one way that we can inadvertently attract and use law of attraction, and other people get the gains of it, but not in a physical harmful way or something that would go against their own free will. Okay, so those are actually the only things that you can't manifest. You can't manifest something that goes against the natural laws of how things work on this world. You know, you can't wake up and say, you know what, tomorrow I want to have 3 arms. You're not going to grow a 3rd arm, and you're not going to change anything in nature or create something new in nature, because that's not your job. That is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's job to do these things. And he's the one who has set a law around these things and the creation of these things that mean that we are no longer in control of it. You can't attract death. I personally think it's a brilliant thing that we can't attract death. But also because if we have more of a anxiety fueled mindset, then it can help to sort of release some of those anxious fears and make us relax a little bit more and focus on some of the more positive things. And especially when it comes to time and things like that, that we actually stop wasting so much time worrying about dying here or there, and understanding that we're never in control of it, and when it comes, it's because it was always meant to come there, and there's nothing we can do to change it. I don't know if that sounds morbid, but that is certainly a thought that has brought me so much comfort, because it no longer makes it my responsibility. And that also means that when I'm using the law of attraction, even if I have like a little fear thought or an anxious thought, I don't let myself get carried away with it, because it's not anything that is within my realm to control. And of course, lastly, you can't manifest or attract something that goes against the free will of another person. And that's even if you want to try and attract something good for that person. You can't manifest for the person to be more active or be less lazy or whatever it is that you might deem for them, so that they can go out and create a better life for themselves. You can't do that, because again, that's ultimately meddling with their free will and their point of choice and making a decision. But you can manifest things into them, so things that will come from the outside and potentially influence them, as more wealth, or maybe new friendships, or a new house, or whatever it might be. You know your people best, right? But those are the three things. Other than that, it is pretty much free reign. And well, I'll talk about this in a different episode, because I think it's really interesting as well. But whether or not we're manifesting the right things into our life, let me know if that is something that you'd like to know more about, because this is something that I find to be so very, very interesting with the law of attraction, because we can attract the wrong things into our lives, and we can do it consciously and subconsciously. But if we're trying to consciously manifest something and we're thinking this is it, and then we get it, but then it turns kind of sour, and then what? Okay, so understanding what manifestations you should be using more of your energy on versus the ones that maybe you can let go of, because maybe those are not the things or the situations in your life that will best serve you as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's servant in this life. Anyway, let me know over on my Instagram at Manifesting Muslima if that is a topic you'd also like for me to discuss here in another episode. But until then, my darling friend, if you know this, please say it with me. Until next time, please don't forget to live in love.